Hey YouTube. Well, I was being asked a question from a fellow YouTuber regarding insects. That now that I'm a truck driver, and if I should have noticed a lack of insects in our daily life, and I must say that I don't see the variety and the great numbers of insects at this season. Well, to what I believe and what I think about it, I cannot prove it, but this is my thoughts about it. We have had a significant change in our weather pattern. That's one thing. And in 2010, the Gulf oil spill took place. And on June 12, 2010, I reported that the Gulf loop current has ceased. The loop current is, for you who don't know, is a current, an underwater river, basically, which is driven by the ocean current coming in from the southern part of the Atlantic. And it runs into the Gulf, it rotates, and it's getting accumulated heat because of the warm waters from the south, and this little puddle here, which is getting extremely warm because there's not that much exchange between the ocean, the big ocean, and this lesser ocean, just like the Mediterranean and the very warm ocean, because the exchange over the Mediterranean is 200 years for the water to be fully flushed out and exchanged with the water coming from the Atlantic. But the loop current was supposedly to go in this direction up along the east coast and up to here, right here in this area south of Greenland, in between Iceland and Greenland, and then plunge into the abyss. And this is what is driving the ocean current. But right now it looks like this, that the ocean current, or the loop current here, is running out here, and out here at the outer banks it breaks off and it fizzles out. There's no drive anymore at all. And I believe that has been attributed to that man are now able to control the weather, especially on the northern hemisphere and especially in North America, or in America, United States. The reason why I say that is because after the loop current ceased to exist, which also had another benefit for the northern hemisphere, and that is that the loop current was the rudder which is controlling the jet stream. The jet stream is a current that's running up here, a wind current which is running very fast in the upper atmosphere. We're talking about 30,000 feet up. It's running up there with almost the same speed as a jet airliner. It is extremely fast, so it's rotating a lot of air, cold air, ice cold air. But now that the rudder from the loop current is gone, the jet stream, the polar jet stream, is now able to fall further south than normal, meaning that the jet stream, the polar jet stream, now are able to collide with the subtropical jet stream, which is running over in this area here. And this is what is driving this insane weather. Now that we have a HARP facility out here in this region, we also have a HARP facility, as we know, up in Alaska, and we also have one in Mexico. With this, they are able, and also in coherence with the cell phone towers or the Gwent towers. You think all these cell phone towers you see around in the landscape are for cell phones. Well, I can tell you that is not the case, because I can drive right next to a cell phone tower, or I can be a couple of hundred yards from a cell phone tower, and I got zero signal on my phone. I mean zero. All the way from when I enter Louisville, going south towards Tennessee, Nashville, as soon as I get outside Louisville and all the way down to state border Tennessee on I-65, I have zero signal, and there's a ton of cell phone towers. Also on US 75 or US 69 in Oklahoma and in Texas, zero signal. And I mean zero. There's nothing. There's not even one bar. I lose connection with my wife when I'm on the phone in that region. She's just gone, bloop, and there's nothing. And there's a ton of cell phone towers, so they are not cell phone towers. They are a part of the weather manipulation or modification apparatus, and that is driving this weather and creating drought, creating too much precipitation in some regions where there should not be that much precipitation, which is giving flood, which is also destroying the crops. So the farmer again have to go out and buy Monsanto deadly seeds. And also over in California now we have a serious drought conditions. I mean serious. We also unfortunately had an earthquake the other day, which is very unfortunate, and I expect it's gonna be worse, because the earth is alive. The earth has birth pains or pangs, if you like. It is moving. It is pretty much ready to vomit upon humanity because of the way we are in our spiritual world. Most people are not spiritual. They think they are, or they would like to think they are, but in reality nothing could be further from that. But I was asked about the insects. Yeah, we had a very hard time getting a spring this season in the United States. It stayed cold for a very long period into the springtime. And I mean temperatures down in the 50s and also in the 40s, especially at night. It was almost close to freezing point in Indiana. Indiana is especially hot in the summer when we had the loop current, which we don't have anymore. We haven't had that for, now 4 years, 4.5 years pretty much. So the springtime had a very hard time getting a foothold in North America, or in America, United States of America. I don't like the part of North America that reminds me too much of NAFTA or the North American Union, which is unavoidable, unfortunately. But this is not politics. And when we have a springtime which is having a hard time getting a hold of the continent, it has a profound effect on crops, how they grow. It has a profound effect also on how animals, how mammals are reproducing themselves, and who is the most sensitive part of this food chain. That is the insects. They don't tolerate too much fluctuation in our temperatures without them actually having to pretty much drop dead or not even become anything. So me driving out there with some 65 or 68, which is the top speed of my truck, I don't get that much splatter on my windshield anymore. Actually, I can drive for many hours and only have a few splatter. And I remember when I started my career in 2012 as a truck driver, that was my pet peeve, and my wife can vouch for that. I hate bug splatter on my windshield. I want my windshield to be squeaky clean so I can see what the freaking going on out there. I don't want to sit there and look from side to side to look through all the spots in my window. But this season here, no, I don't see that much insects. And normally also at truck stops when I'm fueling, you were supposed to see where people are dropping their trash in the trash cans, that there should be these normal predators or opportunists like flies, like hornets, yellow jackets if you like, buzzing around to get a little extra treat from us humans, what we are leaving behind. But there are none, pretty much. There are not anyone. And that is disturbing in my world, because the birds are living off the insects, other animals are also living off the insects. So that hurt the food chain all the way from the bottom and all the way up. And it also hurts the crops, that we have such a die-off of our honeybees. So we have a lack of pollination from our flowers, our plants in general. And that is devastating. And it also have a negative effect when it comes to the CO2 issue. And that is, we have been told, and I know that for a fact for being a lie, we've been told that we have too much CO2 in our atmosphere. Well, I can tell you one thing, that is a lie. I do hold a biology in major from college and from my education as a school teacher, and I can assure you that in the ecological system, the trees and the plants are dependent on CO2 from the ground and from the air, which they are accumulating into the strains or the veins in the tree, taking it out into the leaves, and through the photosynthesis, which is supposed to need to take place, which is now not taking place that much because of chemtrails obscuring and blocking the UV light coming from the sun. Well, the sun is on a rampage too. It is not that much healthy. So that's maybe one of the reasons why they are trying to block the sun, because they know the earth is going to get seared and severely scorched by the sun. So that might be a necessary evil what they're doing, but you know, it is hurting us in the other end. But going back shortly to politics, they want to get rid of us, most of us, pretty much all of us. 95% of all populace has to die according to the globalists. So whatever they do, they see fit. But the photosynthesis is on a downfall because of lack of sunlight coming in from the sun. We have a global dimming of 20 to 30% depending on what region you are in. So if you are in America, or you are in Europe, or you are in Great Britain, you have a very, very low photosynthesis rate in our trees to actually produce oxygen for us to breathe, meaning mammals, animals, and humans breathing oxygen. So we are depleting our oxygen level from the trees, and also the oxygen level that we have stored in our own atmosphere, which is rapidly running down. And when we have all these forest fires, we have a great depletion of oxygen, because fire needs oxygen in order to burn. So it's sucking all the oxygen to it, and we have had an explosion. And it's not just in North America, but around the world, of fires. And they have a very negative effect when we have a low production of oxygen from our trees due to the lack of photosynthesis from our trees, because of a sun shield called chemtrails in our atmosphere. So it all hangs together. Our world is being poisoned and destroyed from the top down, or from the bottom and up, worldwide. I mean worldwide, and especially now that we don't have a polar jet stream running around. That has a very significant and very, very negative effect. It is also distributing these chemtrails in another pattern and spreading it all over the entire planet, not just in the local regions, but all over. So the idea of we don't need CO2, as Bill Gates is promoting and Al Gore is promoting, is the biggest and most sinister lie I have ever heard coming from anyone who has influence on the political arena. They should be hung high for that treason and selling that lie, because that is our downfall. It is directly genocide of our planet, not just humans but also mammals and also plants. It is a direct assault and attack on Mother Earth, and it will, if they get their way, destroy it, and even destroy their own way of life. because they won't be able to survive it. So that's what I have to say about that. God bless you.